So hello and welcome to another Fridays, or maybe not even a Friday, but definitely my thoughts. NISI have been good enough to send me a new product of theirs. I was quite surprised by NISI contacting me, and then I was over the moon to find they got this new product out and they want me to take a look at it. It's a ND-Vario. It's a True Colour ND-Variable filter, basically. You get a nice little fancy little box, or not fancy as I like to say. Simple, clean little grey box, which I like. Inside the box is one of these. This comes in a pouch. It's a nice little, it's actually quite a toughened pouch as well, with a really good Velcro strip on it. And inside the box comes a little plastic bag. And inside this little plastic bag there is a tiny little screw thread, which is your thumb dial for dialing it in and giving you more or less exposure. In the box is a circular ND filter with a really big lens cap as well, which is really quite nice. This lens cap fits right over the top and you can't get it off very easy when it's actually not attached to the camera. So when it's attached to the camera you better pull it off quite easy, but the actual cover is really good. I'm quite impressed. It's a lovely silver tone as well. Let's just pull it apart so you can see it. There it is. Nice little variable ND. This is a variable 1 to 5 stops. Now 1 to 5 stops is going to give you an ND2 to an ND32. So I want to just sort of take it out and show you how this works. They also have another one they do the 5 to 9, but this isn't the new True Colour. You see on the front of this box it's got the new True Colour logo. The idea of the True Colour is they reckon it's got an added high colour fidelity coating, and it stops the crossing. You know, sometimes you get these polarizations, cross polarizations on these variables, and it stops the crossing of that, so you don't get that dark X or that dark cross inside the filter. Now, it's not really bright sunny out there, so I'm going to struggle to probably see how this works, but I will come back and show you in the future whether I've had any issues with it or not. But it's a bit grey outside, but I am going to show you the difference between a 1-stop and a 5-stop. I'll take the 5 to 9 with me as well, and I'll just quickly show you that. The 5 to 9 comes in this little box. No case with this one, but it's got the little thumb finger thing attached to it, and I'll take this out there as well to give you an idea of how that works. But it's not their True Colour one. They are actually working on that at the moment. So I'll take that with me, and I'll take this with me. I'm not going to touch the finger thumb thing because I don't need to, because I'll use the actual thread on the front to turn it, rather than adding that little screw. And I'll keep that little screw in here just so I've got it in the box and everything, keep it together just in case I pass it on one of my giveaways. So yeah, this is from NISI. This is the little case I'm going to keep it in while it's in my pocket. I need to get outside with the camera and get that set up. What can I tell you about it? Now, I've got some stuff written down on bits of paper because my memory is getting terrible as I get older. It's the highest quality HUC, high ultra clarity optical glass. So we're going to have a look at this and see how clear this is. I'm going to take a couple of photographs and I'll have a good examination when I get back on the old Photoshop and Lightroom and see how clear it is to maybe a photograph that I take without the filter on. See if there's a lot of difference. NISI's exclusive with the nano coating. Other filters I've got have nano coatings. This has got a nano coating, which means all moisture and water falls off of it. I've got no water in the van at the moment to show you, but I'll try and put a little bit of water on it at home just to run it off, and I'll put it on the screen for you. I'll run it under the tap just so you can see the water running off of it. But yeah, they're pretty good, the nano coatings. It really does protect the lenses really well. So when it's raining, the water just falls off the front. Two colour design, yes, I've showed you that. It's got the silver and the black embossed materials, secure grip. It has got a nice grip on the side of it. I've got the wrong one in my hand. It has got a nice grip on the side of it, and it's got like a knurling around the edges there, so you can get hold of it and have a proper good grip to turn it and to fix it to the front of the lens. This is an 82mm, and I will be using an adapter ring to take my lens up from a 72 to an 82. I do that already anyway. I always go for a bigger filter, because then if I ever change my lens or go to an ultra wide lens, the bigger filter should work quite well. So I always go for a bigger lens. That's my recommendation. So 82mm is what I normally go for. slim construction. It is quite a slim build. It's quite a narrow, it's not a big chunky thing. It is actually quite a narrow thing, so it's something quite easy to keep in your bag. So you've got between 1 and 5 stops all in one little filter. No X effect, which I've just explained, optical glass, which I've just explained, and I've also explained the difference. I will give you a price at the moment. As I'm putting this together, we are at mid-January 2022, and the prices on the NISI screen are between £90 and £190. Now I assume that is depending on the size and you buy, and yeah, so that's the price. I'll put any prices up on the screen for you anyway, so you can see as I'm going along, and any information I've got written down I'll also be putting up on the screen. So right, let's get this outside, let's put it on the tripod and let's try it out. Right, so change of scenery from yesterday. I was actually in the van and I was going to take you out and do this by the seaside, but it didn't quite work out. I may use some of the seaside footage, but I thought I'd have to come back and do this slightly different way. So I've come to my local weir, as you can see over my shoulder there, which is a rushing, gushing piece of water. So I'm hoping the volume is okay for you. I'm just about to fit this to my camera, and the first thing I need to do is add an adapter ring, because I didn't put one on before I started. So I have got a 72 to 82 millimeter adapter ring. This is what I use then to take any of my filters, any of my camera lenses, i.e. 58, 52, 72, 78. Now this does come in all the different sizes, and I'll put all the sizes up on the screen for you, but I buy an 82 millimeter which will fit any size of my lenses then, and all I have to do is fit the adapter to the lens, and then this will screw on. So I'm basically making all my lenses up to an 82 millimeter. Right, so I'm going to screw it on the front of the camera, then I'm going to flip my camera screen round so you can see my camera screen there, and then I'm going to do some adjustments and show you how this works. So we are set at one stop at the moment, and we're going to take a photograph of the weir, and then we'll move it around to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 and show you the difference in the shutter speeds. So I'm going to go to the other side of the camera now, and you keep an eye on this screen there. Right, so the screen is there. I'll just take my live view off, and I'm going to zoom you in a little bit so you can actually see the screen a little bit better. Okay, so the screen is here. I'm hoping that you can see on the bottom of the screen, just about there, we have a shutter speed. I'm just trying to get the screen in such a position where you don't get glare on it there. We've got a shutter speed there of 40th of a second, and I'm going to focus on the first waterfall and take the photograph. This is with the filter set to 1 stop. And what I want to try and do is show you the colour cast. I'm going to compare it with some others, and I'm going to compare the different shutter speeds. So that was 1 stop at 40th of a second, f4. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that f4 and get it back off of auto, which is on the top there. I'm going to go back to f11 or f8, because that'll stop the light down a bit more. Right, we're going to go to f8, as you can see there. We're now on 10th of a second. We're going to do the same thing, 2-second timer, take a photograph, and that'll give you a relatively slight bit of movement in the water. Okay, these filters are brilliant for doing waterfalls. We're then going to go to 2 stops, which is there, and you'll see that the shutter speed has now changed to a 1/5 of a second. Same again, I've not changed anything else. No focusing, no f-stops changed. That was a 1/5 of a second, so that actually gives us a little bit more movement in the water. I'm then going to go to 3 stops, do the same again. That was definitely a lot longer, because that was a third of a second. Then we go to the 4th stop. That's going to give us 1.6. That was definitely quicker or longer. And then we go to maximum, max it out at 5. And this should definitely give us a little bit longer and a lot more movement in the water. So that was giving us 1.3 seconds, and you'll see the difference when I put them up on the screen between that one, the one before it, the one before that, the one before that, and the one before that. And you're getting more movement, or a more static image as you go through the images. So that's what that does. That's a way of varying your shutter speeds. And what I want to do now, and that's very easy to do, I'm going to take you around the front now and show you what it is we're doing on the front of the camera. So something else this is very good for using as well is on video. Now this is really quite awkward for me because I'm looking at the other end of the camera. So I'm going to switch my camera over onto video mode, and hopefully it's going to come on for you and you'll be able to see the back of the screen. Now on video mode, you can see on the back there, hopefully we'll be focused on that screen. Excuse me, it's quite chilly out here. Yeah, on the video mode, it works really well on video because You should be able to see the weir going on as well in the image, and I will set record. So if I hit record now, I'm on video mode, you'll be able to see the weir down here in this part of the image, and also keep an eye on the shutter speed going on here. I've got the shutter speed set at, let me just check, 125th of a second, and we're on f4 at the moment. That's working the camera. Now as I change this, you'll notice that it gets darker and darker and darker. Okay, now when you're using video, that's gone down to 5 stops. When you're using video, this is a way of controlling your aperture or your shutter speed. This could be a really bright day, and the problem is it's not a really bright day because it's very overcast. So you normally want to shoot video about 125th of a second. Anything faster than that and things start to look very, very static. So you want to get that nice movement and using 125th of a second if you can, so that when I'm waving my hand in front of the camera, you can see the nice camera movement. Now, when it's really bright light and you've got a camera set to f4 or f5 or something like that, it's really difficult to get the light to actually work, and it's really difficult to get the right shutter speed, because your shutter speeds will be up to like 200, 300, 400 for a second. So by putting on a filter like this, you can adjust this very quickly, drop it down to 5 stops or even 4 stops or 3 stops, and then readjust your aperture to suit the equation. Now at the moment, like I say, I've got 25th of a second. The image is really quite dark in here and you can't really see my hand. So what I would do then, to making sure I'm going the right direction for you, is I would slow my shutter speed down. Now keep an eye on that, and you'll see I'm slowing my shutter speed down, hopefully. If I've not moved it with my finger, it's very difficult. I'm still on F4, aren't I? Yeah, it's very difficult to do this back to front. So you see as I slow my shutter speed down on this little corner there, that the camera image starts to get brighter. And I have to keep checking because I'll keep pressing it. So as I flick it round, we should be getting faster and faster, or slower and slower shutter speeds. We're now down to 60th of a second, and that's possibly as slow as it will go on this camera. So 60th of a second, and I may have to adjust that to the second stop. You can see that I'm getting a lot more blur on my hand now in the video. You can see my hand's very blurry. So if I go back to 1 stop, it then becomes sort of a bit overexposed. So I would have to adjust my shutter speed then back up to 125th of a second, which is around there, and that's giving me a bit more of a smoother hand. And that's how the shutter speed works with your video camera. So it's really, really a good filter for using on your video cameras. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop this down to 5. I'm going to take a shot at 5, and I'm going to put a 6 stop on. I know it's very close on the exposure, but I want to try and give you a color cast. Let's just stop video on there and go back to stills. I want to give you the color cast and show you how the color cast may work with this and other filters. I've got 2 other filters to try and do a bit of a comparison. So I'm going to take a shot with this. I'm going to go back behind the screen, swap the filters over, and give you an idea of the color cast. Okay, so I'm now back behind the camera again, and I want you to keep an eye on what's going on the screen. So we're at f8 at the moment, 1.3 seconds, and I'm going to get the camera just set a little bit better. Go as wide as I can. Got a wide angle lens on, but we want to try and take in everything. I know the picture's not pretty, but I want to try and get in these colours of the greens and the water reflection and maybe a bit of the fence and stuff like that. We'll just try and get a general image of everything that's going on. Right, so we are on 5 stops. I'm going to take this image on 5 stops. 2-second timer is on. Focused on the water just in front there. And then I'm going to take that image. Okay, I'm now going to swap the filters over. You'll notice the filter will change on the bottom there, and we'll put something else on. Okay, I've got another filter, but I haven't brought the right adapter. I picked up the wrong size. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it on myself. So it's giving you the same shutter speed as 1.3, 1.4 seconds. So again, I'm going to do the same difference with this one. This one is a different filter. So we're just going to see if there's any difference in the colour between the first one and the second one. I'm just going to change to the next filter and we'll have another go. Right, so I've just changed my filter over again. I've got another one on now, and hopefully we'll be able to tell the difference between the 3 filters, whether there's any actual colour cast, because the NISI claim that they're a real true colour. The only difference with this one is it's gone to 3 seconds, because this is a 6 stop and not a 5 stop, so we've added an extra stop to it. So that's us done. We're now going to move back to the computer, and I'll see you on the computer, and hopefully we'll do a bit of a colour cast. Right, so I'm back at home and I'm back in front of the computer screen. I've had a bit of a look at the images, and the three images I've brought up are pretty much exactly the same. I'm going to put all three images up on the side of the screen for you so you can have a look at them. There isn't any colour difference in all three of them. They're all exactly the same. They virtually can't tell the difference between them. So NISI has done a really good job on the filter. I'm very pleased with it. I think it's really quite nice. If you want something that's nice and easy and lightweight, so you've got a variable filter, you can just adjust between 1 and 5, and when they bring out the new 5 to 9, you can have 2 filters and it'll cover a full range. I will do some extensive testing when the sunlight is really bright to see if I do get any of that crossing effect, because filters, variable filters, do suffer with that greatly. I've had it on many filters in the past, so it would be interesting to see if they've cured it. What it is, it's the cross polarization. As the 2 filters darken, sometimes it crosses when the way the light catches it. So hopefully it's cured. Yeah, I do landscape videos on a Wednesday and a Sunday. Please check them out, and until next time, do like and subscribe and all the usual stuff, and until the next little gadget comes through the post and I can play with something and show you something. Ciao for now, see you soon, and yeah, don't forget to leave us a comment. Tell us what you think and what sort of filters do you use, why do you use them, and do you use variables? I'd be interested to know if you do. Cheers, bye bye.